Hello everyone, welcome to another maths video by Maths with Sarah. So we're going to be tackling the last question on this medley of algebra series, which is this solving this equation. So we've already done some simplifying, we've already done rules of indices, we've done simultaneous equations, we've done rearranging equations, we've expanded and simplified three brackets, and now we are going to solve this equation. So let's get started. We've got a number of clues as to what we're going to need to be doing in the question for this. So we've got 5x squared minus 4x minus 3 equals 0. And the big clue is that we have been told that we need to give our solutions correct to three significant figures. So obviously if we're solving quadratics, there are many ways that we can do this. We can look at using square numbers. We can factorize it into brackets. But the clue for this one is that we need to give the answer to three significant figures, which suggests that we're going to be using the third method and using the quadratic formula. So we have got 5x squared minus 4x minus 3 equals 0. So the quadratic formula is not the easiest to remember. But what we have got is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what part's what? We have got a is this number here. B is this number here. And C is this number here. So that is pretty much all you need to know to solve this question. Obviously, it's not actually as simple as that. So let's start by popping some of these numbers into this equation. So we start with minus b. So minus 4 would just be 4. And then we have plus or minus, which is what this symbol here means. The square root of b squared, so minus 4 squared is 16, minus 4 times a, which is 20, times minus 3, which would be plus 60 overall. And then the whole thing is going to be over 2 times 8, or 2 times 5, which is 10. So we can now deal with the 16 plus 60, which gives us 76. And now we can split up this plus or minus. So we can either have x equals 4 plus root 76 over 10. And if you were to put this into your calculator, then you would get the answer of 1.27, correct three significant figures. Or we can say that x equals 4 minus root of 76 divided by 10. So root 76 is going to be somewhere between 8 and 9, probably about 8.5. So 4 minus 8.5 divided by 10. If we pop this into a calculator, we get minus 0.472. Again, correct to three significant figures. Three figures here, 3 figures here. Good. So being forced to use a quadratic formula does happen occasionally. It doesn't always happen. Often you're able to use whatever method that you like. So you can opt to use a quadratic formula, or quite often you can solve it by factorizing it into brackets. In this case, obviously, they've pretty much forced you to use the quadratic formula because you need three significant figures, and that's going to be very difficult to solve using by factorizing, if not impossible. So that's a quick run through of the quadratic formula. I think the hardest bit is actually remembering the formula itself and then making sure that you correctly identify A, B, and C. So obviously, if for whatever reason this was rearranged, you'd have to rearrange it so that you have the x squared followed by the x term followed by the number term in order to make sure that the A, B's, and C's worked out well. Okay, so that was the last one of this Algebra Medley series. I think we've definitely covered all the principles of algebra. If there is anything that you think I've missed, then please feel free to drop me a message and I'm more than happy to add another question. The next stop is looking at some of the number questions that quite often come up on foundation papers. So that's what my next videos are going to be about. If you're interested in those, then make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you know exactly what's coming out when. And lastly, thank you very much for watching.